So,
Enjoy.
I'm going to be talking about Google Docs and online resources. I'm going to start with a sage on the stage. I will show you some stuff, and then we're going to get into hands-on. So you'll each need to log into your laptop or something, log into My St. Mary's, and click on your calendar. So, does this work? Kind of. So how many have heard of Google Docs? Raise your hand. Let me know what they are.
Yeah.
How many of you use them much? Okay, splendid. So for the rest of you, brief overview. The big picture item is they're online. They are not files on your computer. Online has a number of advantages, one of which is that you can edit them with these other things. It's not just on your computer that you edit with Microsoft Word. You got all kinds of options. And if I were a betting man, I'd say the number of options will only increase over time because we have more tablet PCs coming out and God knows what other form factors people will think of. But the short form is that they will all support Google Docs. Google Docs is a technology that has a whole lot of traction, which is to say a lot of people use it in a lot of industries. So, number one, the Google Doc you can share with other people. We'll get into a little bit more about that in a few minutes. So, instead of like emailing a copy of your Word doc, all you do is share the document, and that way you transmit the information instantaneously without killing any trees. So the other thing that I personally think is really, really cool is that several of you can be editing a document at the same time and your edits show up real time. Now it isn't exactly real time. There's a delay of 2 to 5 seconds. What do you do? When I was in...
Yeah, I don't want to use it.
Well, rumor is that the latest version of Google Docs that they're going to roll out real soon will have instantaneous. So we'll take care
All
of
right,
you.
all right.
Which is interesting that one of the virtues of having gone with Google for our calendaring and docs and things like that is that if we had it hosted here on our own system, every time the vendor came out with an upgrade, we'd have to wonder whether or not to upgrade and how to train everybody and put it on a separate server and test it. It would be hours and hours and months and weeks of work to make that all happen, and then we'd have to go and retrain everybody. The way that Google works is they make a fair number, about every month they add some new feature or function. And it's almost invariably the kind of thing where if you don't want to use it, it doesn't break anything that's already there. So all your knowledge already works. Eventually you'll go, hey, I wonder what that button does. And then you'll click it and you'll discover what it does. Google also has really good online help, which is part of the reason that we chose Google Calendar in the first place. So last year when I was in a master's degree program, we would get everybody in my group. We did a lot of group work. So we'd get the 5 of us on a speakerphone with a shared Google document to prepare our presentation for the next class meeting. It was a hybrid program where we met face-to-face about once a month to do our presentations and did the rest of the coursework online. So it was really cool for that because we could see, right away what other people were doing. The other virtue, of course, being, wherever you want to be. I did one session with my classmates from my hot tub. Others were like traveling or couldn't get there or were homesick. And so in all those situations, they just brought up their computer or their laptop and worked away. So including text documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. One of the documents that I shared with you is the presentation that I made for this. As a matter of fact, it's this presentation. As a matter of fact, I think any of you could come in right now and edit this right now.
Let's do it.
Anybody want to do that?
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
What if we didn't get your email with it?
What's your name?
Mary Ho?
Ah, all right. let's see. So here's my happy presentation. I'm going to check and see if I've shared it with you or not successfully. And here's my list.
I'll forward it to you in MCOE. Yeah, thank you.
Well, hang on a second. I'm the document owner. I thought I should, but there's certain empirical evidence to the contrary. MCOE.
That's right, at St. Mary's, blah, blah, blah.
So here we are. It's got a connection with our LDAP server, or one of those servers. So I put in MCO and it goes, oh, I know who you are.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, just for grins, so EB, I put in EB, I'm sharing documents with Ed all the time. So it's like, oh, I know this. And it remembers from last time, it puts you at the top of the list. So I click here. Here's a drop down. I can select can edit or can view. I think you're all have edit view this time. I can type a message and it'll show up in the email. And then I click share. This checkbox send email notifications. You can turn it on or off depending if you want to send email. Notice it's on by default. And so you can put in a message here. I'm going to turn this off, click share, and there we go. So now you should have it.
Yeah, I
You can
do.
refresh. Is it there?
I'm looking at Carmel's, but I'll make sure
Ready?
yours doesn't. Yeah, here we go. No, wait, welcome to, that's you.
Correct. Correct. Right.
Just a question.
Yeah.
The way that you got here was into My St.
Excuse me.
Mary's, and then you went to calendar, and then this screen showed up, is that correct?
Yeah, you know what? I got ahead of myself.
Nancy's in.
Log into my St. Mary's,
Let me see who else is in.
click on Gale Calendar. Gale Calendar is our version of Google Calendar. We have our own instance, although it's on Google servers, so we don't have to have a sysadmin or anything like that. So here's my happy calendar. I click on Documents here in the upper right, and this is my list.
Where's Yale calendar?
My St. Mary's, scroll all the way to the top,
It's right there, in the little
middle.
orange boxes, guide
middle
tab.
top.
Oh.
Yeah. Those are single sign-on shortcuts to a lot of the campus systems, so. Let's see, so there's that. Calendar, here's your list. You can click on any of these.
So once you get into the calendar, where do you go? Because
You
I've
click
never.
on Documents in the upper.
Oh, that's right. So this is a way to access Google Documents without having to have a Gmail account.
Correct.
That's what you did, so you
Right,
jumped over.
right, and it's interesting, so I put everybody's email into the share box. And the email everybody gave was their St. Mary's, except for Rebecca Kroll, who put your SBC Global. So I put all these emails and I clicked share, and it said, oh, are you sure you want to share with this email address that's outside of the St. Mary's network? And I said, yes, please. So it just gives you that little warning. You do that all the time, it works. Yes.
I'm not getting in.
Yeah, you are.
I am?
I see that you are. Editing now. You.
What?
Where am I supposed to be?
It says Louis.
Maybe
Okay,
Terry
so
touching the page again?
Go to my St. Mary's.
There's one little bit I want to show you before we start the hands-on piece.
Oh, so I edited, I think, slide 1 for you.
So I want to
Oh.
be editing? So.
Okay, and so I go.
On your handheld there, I want to try, I want to see if it works.
That's right, check this out. Rita just put this picture in
Oh, I get it. Oh, thank you.
while we were there. Has anybody else got the presentation up?
We're not supposed to go into our email and get it.
You can do it that way too.
You sent some things to my.
Right, here's the thing. The email that you get is not the document. You're used to getting documents as attachments in your email, okay? The email that you get from Google doesn't contain the document. All it really says is, guess what? There's a new document in your list that somebody has shared with you.
Oh.
See what I mean?
So then you go into My St. Mary's.
start in My St. Mary's, Gale Calendar, Documents, and away we go. If enough people start routinely using Google Documents for stuff, then we could put a button right in the front of St. Mary's to go straight into Google Docs. So we'll see how that plays out.
You know what, go to your speaker notes over there on the side.
Oh.
They're cute. That's my mother, my grandma and my daughter. That's for me.
Right.
Would you like us to actually be at computers now?
Yes, let's go to computers now. Yes,
I
Rebecca?
have a conceptual question first.
Uh-huh.
What's the advantage or not of Google Docs over Wikis?
Let's see. So they're very similar. There's a sort of conceptual difference in the sense that the point of the exercise of a wiki is a website. Which is, if that's what you want to do, that's what you use. Google Docs is optimized for Word type documents. So it doesn't, I mean, it does do hyperlinks, but it doesn't do backgrounds and animations and a lot of the website type of thing. In particular, the characteristic of a document, of a Google document to replace a Word document, is that it's multi-pages. Okay? So you'll scroll down and see different pages. A website, you want to keep each page fairly small, and so you know, your introductory page is here, another page here, another page here, another page here. So each of those pages will be fairly small, where with Google Docs, you know, it's a psychological replacement for documents. You make it as many pages as you
So
want to
if
be.
it's a document-based kind of thing, Google Docs. But Google Docs is also a spreadsheet.
Right, that's the other thing is, with a wiki, you get web pages. With Google Docs, you get presentations, spreadsheets, and documents.
And drawings, actually.
And drawings, I forgot about drawings, but yeah. Okay, so the thing I wanted to show everybody, as far as sharing and editing, this is my master's thesis. I was in this, in educational technology, actually. And so what I did to write my thesis, I put it in Google Docs. And I had to do some clever things to tell Google Docs about APA format. But basically I did it in Google Docs, shared it with my thesis advisor, who then logged in, edited various things, said you need to punch out this, or this part's formatted wrong, or whatever. And then as I went through, and what she would do is, it was highlighted, because it was the teacher, and she also did it in red just to make sure. So what I did is I went and fixed whatever it was,